Oh, okay. Welcome to the December 23rd, 2025 session of uh, TAPR and HamSCI technical session. My name is Dave, KV0S, and this week I've been working on K9Q radio and learning more about how to use multicast with it. And it's interesting uh, web to work through, but I'm making progress and haven't got it 100% working, but I got it half working right now. So uh, it works just great on individual radios, and I'm just getting the pieces to work together. So next on the list is Nathaniel, W2NAF. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Thanks, Dave. Well, the biggest news is that I went to the American Geophysical Union meeting last week. And from my perspective, for what I did, I think it went very well. I thought HamSCI was extremely well represented. We had a big session on Monday morning. We were the very first session, first oral session, 8:30 a.m. of the whole meeting. So I can't say it was super well attended because there were still lots of people in the registration line. But, there were probably there were still probably like 50 to 100 people in the audience. So, that's not bad. And let's see. And so I spoke for Steve Serwin since he couldn't make it due to a medical issue. And Rob Robinette spoke for both Gwen Griffiths and uh, let's see. Yeah, he spoke for Gwen Griffiths, and he gave a talk, and Christina Collins gave a talk, and Mary Lou West gave a talk, and yeah, he I'm sorry, I'm just really tired. Gwen Rob Robinette spoke for Gwen and for Paul Elliott. Both talks were very good. It was very well received. I think it went very well. Um, I was only there for about 2 days. Then I came back. I've been working really hard on doing revisions for Steve Serwin's HF time difference of arrival paper. That uh, was submitted to Frontiers. It came back with minor revisions, but I'm going through the figures again because I wanted to refactor the code and make sure that everything runs from start to finish. I've actually been using Claude AI to help me with that. It's working really nicely now. So I'm making good progress on that. Aside from that, I'm getting ready for Christmas. Lots of stuff going on here with the family and trying to keep working on these paper revisions and getting ready for Christmas. So it's all very exciting. Back to net.
Okay, next on the list is Bob, W1XP. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, good evening to everybody and season's greetings. That's the good news. The bad news is the Whisper Demon died well, we had a power failure Friday morning, very brief here, because the generator kicked in, you know, 30 seconds later. But the power outage in my distribution area was only about 3 or 4 minutes long, and then we were back on regular power. But that's when it died. And my first thought, because I didn't discover it till a couple of hours later after I had been on the air, and I thought I blew the RX 888 or the input to it or something. Because it just sounds like it's a radio with no antenna.
Hmm.
Um, but I went back through the output, through the Whisper uh, Rocks website, and it died at exactly 11:16. It stopped sending data, and that's when the power failure was. So I'm thinking maybe it's maybe in the computer or something, because it certainly, I don't think it was anything from the antenna input at this point. So that's the good news is I know it died. The bad news is I don't know how to fix it. Help. Back to net.
Okay. Next on the list is Clint, K7OEI. Go ahead, Clint.
Hi. Um, Not too much here. Um, I had the only really ham related thing I did was I ended up making for a portable antenna. There's this mess here, and what it is, it's a combination common mode choke and a auto transformer for HF for a portable antenna that I have, which when I rewound the stainless steel loading coils with silver plated loading coils, and you can get silver plated wire on Amazon as jewelry wire, in case you're wondering. The feed point impedance went from about 55 ohms down to about 15, which is actually a good thing, but that meant that the impedance, that the mismatch was terrible, about 3 or 4 to 1, making the radio unhappy. And this lets me bring it back into tune without adding an antenna tuner, which will, and which are get extremely grumpy if you try to match a standard antenna tuner below about 30 ohms. Things get hot. In fact, I have a LDG that has a toroid in it that has brown paint on it because of that. The other thing is I was kind of like Bob. I was having trouble with one of the Whisper Demon servers up in northern Utah, so I threw my hands of it and moved services to a different machine and physically shut it off. So I don't know what the problem was. Rob had already fixed it, and it did exactly the same thing again, and that machine. So it just this is we don't need it. It's gone. So anyway, so that was fun. Anyway, back to you.
Okay. Well, next on the list is Dave, W6OQ. Go ahead, Dave.
Good evening, good evening, everyone from Los Angeles. As usual, I'm just here to see what I can learn. Thanks.
Okay. Next on the list is David McGaw in 1HAC. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Kind of trying to get back into civilian life, so to speak. We just had our Midwinter Revels performances over the weekend, and now back to normal routine, except for the holidays, of course. And happy solstice to everyone. Um, and we're continuing to work on our ground station here. In their infinite wisdom, Dartmouth has decided to lock me out of the getting onto the roof again. They decided to change the locks, put us on a key card system, and now my card doesn't work. But we'll get through this. But our spacecraft does, for some reason, it's UHF radio, which is what we're looking to communicate with, locks up for no reason. We lost contact this morning, but the S band was still alive, still worked. So the spacecraft is alive. It's just for some reason our radio um, resets itself periodically. But we've got a pass in about 10 minutes. Hopefully, it will be pinging away, um, having come back to life. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But you know, um, I'm glad things went well at AGU, and hope to hear some. Nathaniel, will we be able to actually get those sessions in some
I
form?
I don't think HU lets you do that unless you um like actually pay to register for it, which is very
Right.
expensive. So yeah, unlike some of these other conferences, I don't think they let you do that,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe you can have people give the talks on here or something for a science session. Anyway, glad everyone is here, and yeah, we had all our snow melt off, but we're supposed to get another 1 to 3 tomorrow, so we may still have a white Christmas. So back to net.
Okay. Next on the list is Franco, K4VZ. Go ahead.
Hey, good evening from Delaware. I came here to see everybody, wish everybody Merry Christmas. I'm off these 2 weeks from work, so that's why I'm here tonight. Finally, I get a break from the thing of work. I'm also interested in hearing from Tom when it's his turn about his progress with the quad receiver. I think he's making a lot of progress, so that's good news, and not much else from my side. Back to you, Dave.
Okay. Next on the list is Jay Schwartz, WB8 SBI. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Um, Hope everybody just had a good Hanukkah, which just concluded for this year, this past Sunday night. Regarding things going bad with commercial power, uh, if okay, there's home generators and uninterruptible power supplies for inside the house. But one thing you might want to consider, everybody should consider, having a whole house surge suppressor put in, and it filters the power. You mount it at the right next to the commercial power meter. Uh, or if you have a generator like I do, it sits on top of where both the commercial power and the generator power feed into the automatic transfer switch. So no matter where the energy is coming from, it's surge suppressed. Can't do anything about a power failure, but what it will do is protect everything in the house from a surge. And you can, on top of that, install surge suppressors inside your circuit breaker panel box. But that won't catch everything. If it doesn't go through the panel, it won't catch it, but a whole house one will. So those are things to consider. Both of these, you should have a licensed electrician do the installation because you're going to be dealing with these things when the power is hot. So this isn't a do-it-yourself project, but they're out there. They're commercially available. It's stable, well-funded technology, and it's what I have in my house. So my all the power by the time it gets to whatever I'm doing in the house, whether it's furnace, stove, electronic equipment, if a surge gets through there, there's something, I've taken a direct lightning hit or something like that. So that's the technical recommendation from for this evening. Nathaniel, changing the subject, is there any updates on hotels for upcoming HamSCI? Anybody have any updates about lodging for HamSCI?
I don't. Whatever we have on the website is the most current information we have right now.
Okay, right, because I checked it just before we started tonight and I didn't see anything. So, all right. Well, in that case, I'll say 73 and happy holidays to everybody. And we'll catch you next week. Have a good week. Take care. Stay safe.
Okay. And next on the list is Jonathan, KC3EEY. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hi, everybody. This week I finished building up another one of my VLF active antenna preamp boards. This is run 3 um, of a board manufacturer. So I'm in the process of cleaning off all of the flux, which made quite a mess. Should have just left it on there, but I have to clean off all of the flux, and that'll be the preamp that we use when we actually test this thing at Nathaniel's house. And I also just received the boards today for the VLF interface box, and it seemed to fit the enclosure quite well. So I was very happy about that. I just have to play with that a little bit more to make sure things fit. I think I'm going to have to do another run, move the power jack a little bit over so it doesn't hit the screw hole. Uh, Other than that, should be good to go. And then the last bit of the front panels or the end panels, and and then it'll be good to go. So I'm making really good progress with that. Um, and Daniel, my apologies that I couldn't couldn't be at AGU, but it sure sounded like a lot of fun. Um, um, I'm kind of curious how Christina's presentation went, but uh, um, I'm sure you'll mention it during the general session. That's all I have. Back to the net.
Okay, next on the list is Rob Robinette, uh, AI6VN. Go ahead,
Hmm.
Rob.
Good evening. Well, I guess I came in late, but I assume that Nathaniel reported about the AGU sessions. Uh,
Yes,
the most significant thing for me was I met with, going there was, of course, the pleasure of seeing Nathaniel and Mary Lou and others. But I did get a chance to meet with Professor Dave Hissel from Cornell, who is Heisel, who has a developed a time of flight and total electron density measurement system that we might very well be able to contribute. The one that he discussed in his presentation, which I think is one of the most important ones we've had in the Thursday afternoon sessions. So hopefully we can pursue that in the coming year to add new insights and ability to contribute. Um, the um, the other activity relevant to this group, more relevant to this group, is that K3LR is down. I don't know if this was discussed earlier, but the 888 has gone down there, and replugging it has not solved the problem. So, Nathaniel, I sent you a note. I hope you got that. I didn't see a response, though. I think we need to ship him a 888 out of your stock to get them back online. And yeah, I will have Phil at K3LI send me, well, or send it perhaps to you. Um, Clint, if you would examine it, because this is a worrisome failure. I think it had all the thermal mods in it. It had Paul's kit, and yet after operating successfully for several months, it's stopped working. I mean, it became intermittent, and then now it just never appears on the USB bus. So. I think we need to look into this failure mode. I sure hope Paul makes progress on our having our own version of
And
the
then
show.
and then I don't know if you heard at the beginning, Bob W1XP said his just failed too.
Yes, well, Bob, if you would allow me access to your Whisper Demon server, I could give you better insights into what's going on there. Um, it's, the you just add a line to your whisperdemon.conf file and type a command, and then I can SSH into it.
Yeah. I think we set up the rack for him, so
We
you
did.
should, yeah, we did.
Well, I'm not aware of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, what would be? Do you know his rack number?
It should be not off the top of my head, but it should be in the
Uh,
configuration file.
W1. Let's see if I have. I don't. I don't have one. It's not in my in my list of rack numbers, so I don't know what it might be. I can
for
guess.
the for the ham 7. I
Uh,
I can pull up my laptop. I can check too. But
yeah, Tom.
I'm pretty sure we set him up with that.
Well, I can log on and while we do this, I have just as an aside, I've been working for the last 6 months on the Whisper Demon server system, and that's not immediately relevant to the HamSCI project. But as what we encountered was last Friday, we uncovered the fact that our VPN server, the WireGuard server for the HamSCI VPN, I'm sorry, for the Whisper Demon HamSCI, had been infected with a crypto virus.
Wait, say that again?
My crypt, it my our relay VPN, our WireGuard
Really?
server for the Whisper Demon VPN, not for you, not for the HamSCI, but for the
Okay.
um, and had become infected with a crypto mining virus. And I think it was infected via an HTTP transaction that was a known vulnerability in the Ubuntu 18 server running on that. So we basically powered off that relay server, that VPN server, and we created a new Ubuntu 20 or no Debian 12 server and re-implemented everything. So I think all of the Whisper Daemon access seems to largely have restored itself invisibly to Whisper Daemon clients. I don't think that your VPN, I didn't look at what the HamSci VPN server is running, but I suspect since you created it recently, it's probably something like Ubuntu 24 or
Yeah.
something. Okay. But apparently it looks like the I forget, what's the name of the whoever runs Ubuntu seems to be a little loose with their security attentions. And
Hmm.
um, so I think if you're just running a server, my experience would be install Debian, some Debian. It seems to be apparently less vulnerable to and the group that runs it. Anyway, if somebody wants to give me a Bob's Rack, I'll log into it and look.
Okay. Rob,
Yeah.
it's off at the moment. I will go
Oh,
turn it on.
go turn it
Oh,
on. Yeah.
I would like to finish the roll call too, Rob.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go back.
Okay. Next on the list is Scott Newell in 5TNL. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey guys, I see SAQ is doing a Christmas Day transmission. It looks like Uli had the same idea I did, so might want to do some recordings if you've got your bias T inductor removed off the 888. For me this week, I ended up chasing Heisenbugs, and I don't know that I made any progress. So that's it for me. Back to net.
Okay. And next on the list is Tom in 5EG. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, good evening, Dave, and everyone on the group. It's been a real busy week. Of course, last week we found out we're going to have to implement an FPGA on the quad receiver. And so this last week, I redid the back end of that. That's all in Verilog, and I got that done. The front end of it, I've found intellectual property from Xilinx to do the uh, um, low level, the LVDS interface to the quad ADC. It's not open source, but it's free. So anybody can get a copy of it. We're not allowed to distribute that in our code, but we can point folks, and if they want to get a license, they can do it. So
Very low audio.
um, okay, interesting. Let me, I
I
thought I
hear you.
adjust.
I hear you very clearly.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, any rate, I'm working on that. I don't know if that means it's not an open source project or it is, meaning all the software is available, but we can't distribute it. You have to go to Xilinx webpage and get it. Interestingly enough, that interface is all written in VHDL, not in Verilog. And so we are going to have a mixed VHDL Verilog project, which Xilinx does allow. So I've been studying up how to implement it. And it turns out one of the files that you need does all the clock and data routing for the IO cells. And the timing on that's super critical because each bit lasts 1 nanosecond going into the IO cell. And that has to be hand edited in VHDL. So I'm now starting the process of trying to learn VHDL syntax, or at least enough to edit the right files. So making progress on it. I don't have the VHDL instantiated yet. The Verilog made tons of progress. And that all has to be done to get a pinout for the FPGA. And once we have an FPGA with pinout, we can start revising the circuit board for the receiver. So that's about it for the week.
Okay. I believe that's everybody on the list. So at this point, we're open for general discussion.
Scott ought to tell us about his time measurements. I think that's important.
Well, I spent time at northern Utah, and I'm afraid it's dropping samples, but I haven't tracked down where yet. And I have not seen it at WWV2 or my local location. And that has me a little bit concerned.
Uh, what's the rack number on the one at Northern Utah? Because I will
Stand by. I'm trying to check. I
let's
don't know
see
that I have
let's
it
see what
written
I get.
down.
I have 11, 28, or 53. Does either one of that couldn't be?
Ports 35, 878. So is that rack 78?
That's
Yes.
78. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's been peeling an
Oh
onion
yeah.
there. Take a layer off and cry, take a layer off and cry.
Okay. Well, let me look at it. Uh, I'm on it.
I was hoping to get Phil's attention in the signal chat. I mean, Metadump was showing interchannel skew where I had samples missing, and
Yeah.
I can't track it down yet.
Does control show report any drop frames? This looks strange. This I I don't know what's going on with this. What is happening? BTOP is I've never seen BTOP refresh so quickly. Did you change the BTOP? Were you interacting with BTOP?
I started BTOP the other day and was in at 10 seconds. I did notice the refresh rate was really quick.
Well, it looks like
I didn't
looks
adjust
like
anything though.
it looks like it's refreshing every 100 milliseconds. It's 10 times a second refresh. That's hard to watch. And it looks like did you put Phil does not. I can see there's I'm pretty sure he isn't signing. Yeah. Okay. This is misconfigured. Um, he didn't use. There's no CPU assignments on this. So you've got CPU cache contention problems on that machine. So it's going to be. Let me reconfigure it. I've got to address this. Phil doesn't want to deal with CPU assignments for his code, and so Whisper Daemon has to go in and take care of it. And
Yeah,
he,
I did,
but
Rob. I did a git pull on Whisper Daemon and restarted WDZ and WDA.
yeah, well, it looks like there's. Let's see. It looks like there's a new Radio D service file as of yesterday, and that's for he. I guess he doesn't. Uh, this is something that I got to deal with. But, yeah, there's no CPU affinity assignment in the service file. So the radio D threads, that are time critical are bouncing all
Yep.
over every core, and that's just a prescription for dropping frames. The capture or USB transfers. I'm finishing my. I'm actually gonna go and completely re-implement the Whisper Daemon client and with the help of Claude. And part of what I'm going to do is have Whisper Daemon take care of CPU affinity assignments. I sent out an email. We had Philip Gladstone had problems with drop frames. Um, this is a subtlety. It took me a couple months to figure it all out last spring, and I do what I can inside Whisper Demon, but I don't know. I don't know what Gladstone's running when he has problems with lost Whisper reports. It's I have to be able to log in to take a look at it. There's just this is an incredibly complicated subject, and apparently a lot of people either I can't explain it to them or that they don't want to hear it. So I try to automate it, but when somebody puts software in that just doesn't other software, I can't help them. So let me fix. I can fix. I'll fix the KD7 EFG that you're using, Scott. Let me while we're going. I'll step aside here, unless Bob is back. Bob, are you back? And do you have your system up?
Okay, it appears to be working,
Okay.
which it had been rebooted multiple times, but I was just listening on 10 megacycles and WWV is pretty weak.
The you know
Um,
the one of the problems we have with the 888 is that it's not just good enough to reboot it. That if the 888 gets into it seems to get into a locked up state, you really have to either replug it or power cycle the host system to get the right firmware in back in operation on the 888. And Scott has created new firmware for the 888 that has a watchdog feature in it, and I just haven't had time to test it out. So until then, if your system stops reporting, if you don't see a 888, or spots, try replugging your USB cable to your 888.
okay, I did not do that, but I certainly rebooted the whole system
Yeah,
multiple times.
yeah.
Uh,
Rebooting doesn't do it. It has to be
okay, okay,
a power
understand.
cycle. Yeah.
Got the message, but
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've searched for a way to have Whisper Demon cycle the power on the USB ports, but the B-Link people have not provided a way for Linux to power cycle the USB ports. That's it just doesn't seem to be, there. The support for the B-Link it is pretty good, but it doesn't include that capability. I mean, clearly, it's the hardware, the USB section can be power cycled. If you watch a B-Link come up, you can see the power being after the B-Link is on. A few seconds in, you can see that the power on the USB ports gets toggled. But that's the BIOS doing it, and there seems to be no interface that currently in Linux that knows how to execute that power cycle the USB.
would putting the 888 on a separate 5-volt supply solve that
Well,
problem?
well, maybe yeah, maybe you're adding. You're talking about a 2 gigabit per second pipe going through an external hub. Okay. Yeah, that may or may not be as, you may add or you may subtract to reliability from that whole.
Yeah.
So we really just need to have our own 888. Yes, we've needed it since we first encountered the 888. It's just we just don't know where these parts come from. That they may be reclaimed parts. I think George, who isn't here with us, doesn't join us, but George Burkett has been working on a test to try to go through and check the bits and all the bits in the A to D, because we may all have bad ADDs that were rejects, and that's why the 888's so cheap. They're rejected uh, 2208s that these unknown manufacturers get for cheap, and as a result, they can offer it to us for cheap. But they're not, in that sense, they're not really scientifically valid instruments, and we need to do I really think it's wonderful that George is going off to do that test because we don't really know, uh, what we're getting, and from in this particular from China in this case. So anyway, do we know what your if you're up? Do we know what your rack number is? Did
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I
okay.
I looked in the file. I didn't see it, so maybe we don't have one.
Yeah. Can you easily get? Well, I don't. If it's up and working, but Bob, if you just typed like the command WDV on a terminal window, it would tell you what your rack number is.
WDB?
Whiskey Dog Victor. You have to be Whisper Demon user, right? I mean,
Yeah, well, I'm not. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if I am or not.
well, whatever, however you installed it. If you installed it under your own
I
Linux
just turned
user,
it on.
well, oh, wait a second. It came from Nathaniel.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, then, geez, Nathaniel, we didn't, we don't. Maybe I could make a guess and see if it's 211. I'm just looking at the. Let me do it. I can do a
Yeah,
scan. Maybe I could.
try 211.
Okay. Um,
No, that's. See, I think I had originally given him the same one as so what happened was I originally took my 201, the one that
yeah.
I had as 201, and I just gave it to him.
Oh, well
But
then okay, so then it's probably one of your rack numbers.
it may
Let me
still be.
let me see if I can
And
let
then
me no, it's not 401 or 201.
yeah. See, I
Uh
I think we might have changed it.
this says W2NAF act vertical, but let's see.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually at my house.
Yeah, that's NAF2. Okay. Rack let's see. Let me try 203. I think that one's also at your house. Mm, yeah.
The easiest thing to do might be to just have Bob take a look at his config file.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not a computer guy, and I'm certainly not a Linux guy. So
Uh, well, we can walk you through it if you do.
I'm 6 hours from leaving for the airport.
You don't want to do this, but just
And,
leave.
and
If it's running, we'll deal with it some other time. So,
yeah. Um, and I'm going to be gone for quite a while. So
uh, you're a top. You're like top 10, one of the top 10
yeah,
reporters worldwide. Uh,
I've I've got some ideas to
well,
improve things.
do you know how to see how well you're doing?
Oh yeah, give me the Whisper Challenge. That's what
Um,
I go to.
No, the best one is the Whisper Rocks top spotters list. It's
Yeah, well that's what I
this
that's where I
one,
go.
this one, this is here. This is see what let's see uh, different Zoom's user interface.
Of
Here's
course,
this is the top Whisper Rocks top spotter. Well, you're not on the list now, of course. You haven't been here for a
well,
while,
yeah, it's
but
been on.
you're familiar with this.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Well then, yeah, this is the right place to go because it's it's the most up to date and it's most I think the most reliable of the you can see how well WWV is doing in terms of it's more than double the second most reported um, site. 237,000 spots of WWV0 come in every day. So anyway, that's uh, I'm sorry. This is Top Beacons. This is the transmit site.
Yeah,
Okay, I was looking at I was looking at transmit sites, but this I guess I've been looking at Top
that's the
Spotter.
thing I look at. I think it's called Whisper Challenge or Whisper Beacon or something. Or
Top Spotters. This is it.
yeah,
Top Spotters. You can see.
yeah, that's the thing I pull up.
Yeah, this is the most relevant. You can see this is Tom Paratori. He hasn't been joining us. He's been too busy, but he's in Long Island and he bounces depending upon when you what time of day you look at it. He or John in the air in the Canary Islands tend to be the top spotters in the world. But this is Conrad, who's also a member of my Whisper Demon group, and he's the technical editor of QST now. I think he just joined them last summer. So these are all people that are part of my group. If you go down this group, every one of these is uh, there's NJ, but K3LR
Okay.
was up in
So
the top 10 when we had it. Anyway, that
Rob,
yeah.
Rob, I have an email that says that I had changed his rack number to 211. So it's
Oh,
supposed to be 211.
okay. Well, let me give it a try. Okay. Well, what about mailing something replacement to Phil at K3LR to get
And
him back on?
I'm able to see I'm able to see Bob's spectrum now
Okay. Well,
through VPN. So that part is working.
okay. I just don't
And
have I don't have him in my uh my list.
You
Okay, I'll
go to
go.
yeah, for some reason I don't have it in my list either, but he is 211.
Okay, I'll go.
And it is going through
I'm trying to.
and I am able to access his web SDR.
Good.
And
Okay.
we can get we can send out replacement um arc strip lights. I've got one here I'm willing to send out. But I can't do it until after the new year.
Okay. Well, uh, he'll be offline till then. So.
Yeah.
Uh, you saw that they did all kinds of work. In fact, apparently, I saw an email where they're going to publish an article in QST about how they suppressed the RFI using uh, Clint's techniques as described by Carol. Uh, KP4MD wrote up a description of how she used the techniques that Clint described on some of his blocks to suppress the RFI generator by these split air conditioner, units that
That's
were.
really great.
So so it looks like we're helping the larger ham community too. So
That's excellent. Yeah, I've really been focused on working on this HFTDOA paper, so I've kind of been neglecting my emails for the past 2 days.
yeah,
So
okay, well,
apparently I can't neglect them very long otherwise.
thank you, gentlemen.
well, anyway, okay.
I put a link in the chat to Bob's WebSDR page and you can click it and it will work.
Well, I'm just interested in. I want to get him up. I'm updating the client software on all of the Whisper Demon clients now
Yeah.
to because I have a new upload technique as part of the reason I uncovered this virus, crypto mining virus, was that I've been upgrading software to use the SFTP upload mechanism that Bill Enkoke has adopted in the recently in the PSWS server.
Hmm.
So So that's what he's doing is best practices, and I was implementing that already for Whisper Daemon
Yeah.
server, but my desire to do so has been reinforced by the virus infection. So
Yeah,
not
that's
that,
very unfortunate.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Have you put a fail to ban? What kind of protection do you have on the on your HamSci VPN server? Because
I
because
just have it set up the way you had me set it up.
but what about firewalling it?
I haven't done much beyond that.
Okay. Well, I have two levels of firewalls. I have the DigitalOcean's, right? The hosting service has a firewall in
Right.
front of the droplet, and then I have a additional fail to ban firewalling that's done um, on the server itself. So
Yeah.
I think I don't know if you'll have time, but I think it's probably worthwhile to uh, basically go in and turn on the your hosting services firewall, and
Okay.
only let through port. Well, I don't know what port you need. The only port you may need to access is the um, I have to think about it, but it's the WireGuard maybe the only port 51820 is the port 51820 is the one that WireGuard listens on. It's UDP, but we should do this together offline at some other time. I don't know if you're going to have time during the holidays, but when you're
Yeah.
free, why don't you send me a note and let's schedule it, a half hour or something to go through and
Okay.
look at the security on your WireGuard server.
Ye- Yeah, and don't forget, we have to have this other bigger conversation with the university about how exactly we're going to do this. So,
I don't think, I think that we should just stay away from the university and not
yeah.
put any equipment inside the university. I don't see
Yeah.
any point to it.
Yeah.
I mean, except that you have a lab inside the university and you have Emma and others who want to experiment in there.
That that need to. So, somehow we have to get this resolved.
Okay, well, you tell me. I think you have less time than me. between
Yeah.
between your
Yeah.
day job and being a parent of two young children, I think you've got a lot more on your plate than I do.
Yeah. I think that sounds good. So I think for now just keep doing what you're doing. I don't and I will get in touch with you about the HamSci VPN
Okay,
in
okay,
the new year.
yeah, yeah. That my infection did not come through. It was a ultimately a Ubuntu 18 vulnerability, and
Okay.
the firewall itself didn't protect against that. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure you're not running Ubuntu 18. So that particular virus, I don't think my experience is really relevant, directly relevant. It's just an alert that this is I mean, I have failed a ban running now, right? My gateway server, I block everything except port 22 and the 51820. And after after a week, I've got I don't know 3,000 different IP addresses that try to SSH and log in as root on my gateway.
Yeah. Wow.
3,000 different, and even if you consolidate, I have a software that I can say consolidate all these, okay? Because probably a lot of them come from a USB. Most of them came from a an ISP in Western Canada.
Huh.
So this Western K must be completely hacked ISP. And the bots, the Asian and Russian and whoever else bots, have hijacked a whole bunch of IP addresses at this Canadian site. So it never, this was new territory. All of this, you know, hacking and virusing is a new territory for me. So. But I think fortunately, because of the way are architected, as far as we know, they weren't able to get any farther. They couldn't go to the clients from the server. They weren't able to, once they affected my relay server, the VPN server, they couldn't
Yeah.
get access because of the way I've the system, the system that you're using, that HamSCI is using, using the fast reverse proxy, protected all the clients
Hmm.
from infection. So um, that seemed to be a good test. Okay, I've certainly I've hijacked the conversation once again. Sorry, if there's other subjects I should give people. Bob, I'll go. Let me go look at yours. I may upgrade you, but your software.
Okay.
Take me a minute. Anybody else here that has issues?
I see Tom saying 73 and have a great holiday. I think I'm also going to say 73, and I'm probably not going to be on for the next 2 weeks for the holiday break for Christmas and New Year's. But I will be around. As I said, I am trying to get these papers revised. They are coming along, but I may be a little less responsive to emails over the next few couple weeks. But then I'll make sure I get back to it as we get into the new year. So, but thank you everyone, and I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Holidays. And Rob, it was great seeing you at AGU. Jonathan, great talking to you and everyone else.
Take care, everybody.
Yes.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to check out too, fellas. Everybody have a good holiday. I may get in from places like Alaska and British Columbia and Washington if it hasn't washed away yet. Take
Good
care,
luck.
That
everybody.
sounds
Bye.
good luck. Have a safe trip. Have fun.